All right, so now wait, here's the thing. You saw a film.
I did.
That for crying out Jesus, tell me you like more than Arthur and Your Highness.
You know what? Soul Surfer is a good movie. Save your money. Don't see anything else this weekend except Soul Surfer. You want to go see this movie. Soul Surfer is based on the true story of Bethany Hamilton, who at 13, we all remember, she was a surfer on her way, hopefully, to a professional surfing career at an incredibly young age, and was attacked by a shark while surfing in Hawaii, in her native Hawaii, and it bit her arm off. And it was this horrible story in the news, and everyone was just heartbroken over this thing. And sure enough, this unbelievably courageous and spirited girl climbed right back on that surfboard with one arm, and she has gone on to continue to have a professional surfing career. An unbelievable inspiration, but a gut-wrenching story. Here's a clip.
Holt got a call from that show, Inside Edition, and they want to give Bethany a prosthetic arm.
Wait. She's been home for 5 minutes.
They're going to pay for the entire thing.
When did you talk to a TV show?
And it's custom made.
Will it look normal?
I would think so.
Awesome. Can they make one I can surf with?
What does she have to do?
All she has to do is give a brief interview wearing the arm.
Check out my sister, the celebrity.
You don't have to do this.
No. I want to. Yeah, I'll do it.
All right, that is AnnaSophia Robb playing Bethany Hamilton, and Dennis Quaid and Helen Hunt, an Oscar nominee and an Oscar winner, playing her parents. And they're all great. They're all absolutely terrific. This film was directed by a guy named Sean McNamara, who has done no films before. He's got a laundry list of credits as a producer and a director for all kinds of really terrible kid-vid television, for It's So Raven and Cory in the House and all this kind of like Disney Channel type stuff. Really, really horrible stuff that you would never imagine would have produced a guy who directs the hell out of a movie like he does with this. This is a really, really well written and directed and produced film. They made it for $18 million. It looks like it was made for 3 times that much. An exceptional, the surfing footage in this movie is top notch. Not easy to do. There's not a lot of digital work here except for the digital erasure of her arm and some face replacement stuff, but otherwise everything you see is legit, above board. Does it have sports film cliches? Sure, tons of them. And yet, even though you know what's going to happen in the film in that 127 hours kind of way, and even though you kind of know all of the emotional twists and turns before they happen, the actors are so sincere, the story is so touching, and it's so well executed that you'd have to be Scrooge to walk out of this movie without a lump in your throat. This is the movie of the week. It's a beautiful film, absolutely worth seeing. And, you know, shame the studios and ignore their stupid comedies and go see something that has heart, because this movie's going to be around a long time.
So that's a, you're giving that a, like a...
I'm giving that a buy, baby.
Buy? Wait,
I'm giving that a buy.
He's not a hater. Oh!
There we go.
That's your second buy of the year, I believe. Last week you had a buy as well.
Yeah.
Well, we have to explain that in the first quarter of any year is really a dumping ground for all the studio films that they do.
January is dreadful. February is almost as dreadful. March, it tends to be semi-dreadful. You'll occasionally find a gem or two in March.
And then you start to get into the summer season, which, by the way, nowadays the summer season, that means the big studio films.
Yes.
And the odds of those being very good.
Now, for the dumping grounds in February and March, to get you guys to go review the films for the screeners, do they give you, like, free popcorn and stuff? Like, do they give you any extra incentives to go?
No, not that. Sometimes they'll give you a water or a popcorn, but that's just...
That hasn't happened in a long time.
So even though the films are dumping ground in January, February, they don't give you guys anything extra.
Oh, the dumping ground films? Not
like, the publicists don't go, do they bother you more like, hey, please come see this movie? Because they know you're going to see the big stuff in May, June, July. In the dumping ground, do they try to bring the critics in, or you guys still have to go anyway?
Well, we have to go.
Yeah.
If we're reviewing it, we have to go. I mean, there's nothing free. There's no free water. Sometimes, if you're lucky, they'll validate your parking.
Yeah.
You get that. It's fantastic.
So the publicists don't kiss your ass any more or less, depending on how bad.
Not really.
No. Sometimes we'll get an email after the next day from the publicist saying, "What'd you think?" Like when I saw what's it called, Source Code.
Yeah.
And you get this all the time. When I saw Source Code, I got an email from the publicist the next day saying, "What'd you think of the film?" And you know, when I first started getting those emails, when I first joined the LA Film Critics Association, I didn't know if I should be honest or not. So I actually asked you, wait, should I be honest when the publicist emails me, or should I like? Because if I say a movie's bad, are they gonna like not invite me anymore to their screenings?
They're trying to get market research in advance. They want to tell the client what to expect. And so you're really not doing them a favor if you go, yeah, it wasn't so bad, and then you write your review and go, this blew. Because then you're not doing them a favor, because then they tell the client, yeah, the critics seem to think it's okay, and then opening day the reviews are just ruthless, and the client freaks out and screams at the publicist, and then nobody's so you're helping them by being honest.
Well, I am honest.
Yes.
And by the way, I told her I like Source Code very much.
It's a good movie.
It is a good movie.
Yeah.
All right, so we have Your Highness, we have Arthur and Soul Surfer, and that means Soul Surfer.
Sounds like
That's
Soul Surfer, and watch Arthur on Netflix Instant. The original.
Yes.
That's right.
That's right.
Speaking of Netflix Instant,
Honestly.
we have an instant gratification Netflix Amazon Crackle segment later on.
And by the way, before we
You ruined my segue. That was a great segue.
Yes,
the whole
we do.
Thing figured out.
We do, but before we leave Arthur,
Oh, he's got
Steve Gordon, who made Arthur, died a year after the movie was made. We should point out, at age 44, died of a heart attack. Honor him by seeing the original Arthur instead.
And by the way, it took them like 10 or 15 years to make Arthur 2 on the Rocks.
Yeah, it was terrible.
which is known as one of the worst sequels ever made.
It's still better than this Arthur.
So if the Russell Brand Arthur is that bad,
Yes.
how bad will Arthur 2 on the Rocks 2 be? Arthur 2 on the Rocks. How bad will that be?
He'll be wearing a tutu.
That'll be the end of cinema. The end of cinema as we know it with
Wow.
that film. Let's hope it never happens. All right, so that's This Weekend in Movies, folks. There it is.
Yes.